the course on construction management and entrepreneurship for 5th semester VTU students. Construction safety management. We will understand what is an accident, what are the causes of its accident, and also some of the general precautions that one has to take in an occupational accident. Accident. Occupational accidents are unexpected and unplanned occurrence including acts of violence arising out of or in connection with work which results in one or more workers incurring a personal injury, disease or death. An accident is defined as an event that is unplanned, undesired, unexpected and uncontrolled, and one that may or may not result in damage to property or injury to person or both in the course of employment. Let us enter into a construction site. We can see one of the example of a construction site. Here the laborers are not at all following any kind of safety precautions, and this leads to multiple accidents, can injure a person or a group of people who are working at site. More example of a construction site wherein we can clearly see there is no safety precautions or quality measures that has been taken at site. Everyone are working on their own way without following any safety precaution. People are just walking around without any safety shoes. Some of them are not wearing any gloves. The equipment operators are driving without even observing what is there in front of them. People are lifting heavy objects which should not be done. People are using unauthorized or non-standardized instruments or equipments. There is no hygiene. They are just throwing the waste here and there, right? So this is what happens if a construction site does not take care of safety very seriously, and this causes accidents at construction site. Accidents in construction industry. Construction industry employs about 15% of the total workforce. It is accounted for about 14% of all workplace deaths and 9% of disabling injuries. The accident rate in construction industry is at least 4 times higher than any other industry. The major causes of accidents are due to unique nature of industry, human behavior, difficult work site conditions and poor safety management practices. Preventing occupational injuries and illness should be a primary concern of all employers. Prevention of construction accidents usually require predicting future accidents, their nature under given circumstances. There must be an effort to raise the level of awareness among both employees and employers on the importance of health and safety at work sites. Accidents in construction industry. Failing to identify an unsafe condition that existed before or that developed after an activity was started. Deciding to proceed with work even after identifying an unsafe condition. Carelessness of workers during the work. Loose, unprotected, and unsafe parts such as walls, beams, etc. during dismantling of building results in accidents. Due to overcrowding of workers at a particular spot of support results in an accident due to failure of support. The greediness of contractor in trying to cut out the expenses, he makes use of defective materials for scaffolding and other types of supports which lead to the accident. Some of the common hazards at construction sites include fire, unsafe working at height, unguarded machineries, unsafe lifting operations, unsafe access, stuck by foreign body, unsafe scaffolds, falling objects, open shafts and edges, unsafe cantilever loading platforms, unsafe working platforms, overloaded vehicles and forklifts, unstable or unsafe structural membranes, unsafe electrical equipment and connections, unstable mobile crane, and unsafe excavations. Now, we have seen all the causes of accidents at a construction site. Now we will enter into a safety zone and see what are all the preventive measures one can take in order to avoid accidents. Safety precautions to prevent accidents. The supports provided at higher levels over which the workers move in connection with the work should be strong and stable. For workers moving at higher levels, the support should have side protections to prevent the workers from falling due to slipping. No workers should be allowed to carry or lift any heavy load which can cause injury. Before dismantling the building, all unsafe parts should be properly protected to prevent any accidents to the workers. No unskilled person should be engaged on jobs such as operation of heavy equipments like bulldozers, cranes, etc. For workers engaged in operations such as welding, etc., effective screens or proper goggles should be provided to the workers for the protection of eyes. No workers should be allowed to enter into pits or chambers or confined spaces where dangerous fumes are present. Every hoist or lift and all heavy equipment and machinery should be properly maintained and thoroughly examined by competent person. For emergency work such as concreting carried at night times, lighting arrangement should be properly provided. The working hour should be followed according to the act. There should be good housekeeping at the site, making use of personal safety devices and protective equipments. Safety training should be provided for workers. Personal protective equipment PPE. Personal protective equipment refers to protective clothing, helmets, goggles, and other garment or equipment designed to protect the wearer's body from injury by blunt impacts, electrical hazards, heat, chemicals, and infection for job related occupational health and safety purposes. PPE usually involves head protection, flying or falling objects overhead, high protection, blowing dust or particles, metal shavings, acids or caustic liquid, welding light, hearing protection, loud tools and machinery, poorly maintained equipment, high visibility hat, vests and pants, errant vehicle distracted drivers, chap pants. We have hand protection for sharp or hot objects, chemicals, biological or electrical hazards. Foot protection, we have falling or rolling object, sharp or heavy object, wet and slippery surface, uneven surfaces, hot surfaces and electrical hazards. Harness, working more than 6 feet or more above the lower level. Now we will understand each one of these personal protective equipments in detail. Head protection or safety helmets. The contractor must ensure that all those who are present at site are wearing helmets. We have different color codes for helmets that we generally use it at construction site. White helmets are for engineers, supervisors, managers and foremen. Red helmet is usually put for firefighters. Blue helmet is for electrician, carpenters and other technical operators. Yellow is for laborers and earth moving operators. Brown for welders and workers with high heat applications. Green is for safety officers and grey helmet is usually given for the site visitors. Foot protection, safety footwear, gumboots, etc. Safety shoes are highly recommended for all workers. Sneakers, sandals or canvas shoes are not to be permitted. Wearing appeals. The contractor must ensure the supply of high visibility clothing, waist cloth, jacket, apron for the workers at the construction site. Employee whose work may bring them in contact with fire or flames may wear clothing only made from natural fibers as an outer layer. We have different color coding for the safety jackets. Fall protection. We have two kinds: full body harness, rope grip, fall arresters or safety nets. These are generally used in order to avoid a worker falling from an height while he is working at certain elevation, or it could be some foreign body could fall and injure the person or the worker who is working at ground level. Eye and face protection. It is required that all the contractor, employees, subcontractors, visitors and delivery personnel is exposed in exposed areas wear eyeglasses as a minimum safety. More specialized eye protection such as goggles, welder glasses, etc. should be ensured by the contractor as per demands of the work being performed. Hand protection, gloves, figure coats, etc. Wearing of work gloves when handling materials or using tools is compulsory, which may cause blisters, burn or cuts without using gloves. Special gloves shall be worn by workers who are handling hot materials, acids, alkali and chemicals. Approved electrical gloves shall be worn when handling energized cables or breakers raking in and out. The contractor shall have the gloves tested on an annual basis to ensure their integrity. Respiratory protection. Respiratory protection like nose mask, ear muffs, etc. shall be used when engineering controls are not adequate to protect employees from the exposure to air contaminants above safety levels. That's it for today's session. Thank you very much.